What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So first of all, there's a really good reason why I'm extremely late with today's upload. It's not my fault, but rather it's because I spent the whole day trying to figure out some combos with the new ABC support. And yeah, there's a really good reason why it took me this long. I couldn't really afford to make like a half-baked video on this deck because the new support is so insanely good that I had to like try to make the deck work as much as humanly possible and try to make like the best board out of like one single card. And trust me, it is going to be well worth the wait. But this is not going to be the last time you're going to be seeing ABC content, because if this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a spreadsheet on this deck. And yes, again, I have not forgotten the Thunder Dragon spreadsheet video. That is coming up very soon. It's just that I've been way too overwhelmed with YCSs and everything in the past couple of weeks. But yeah, I am back. And with that being said, let's get right into combo number one. Of course, you can expect the deck profile at the end. Okay, so combo number one actually doesn't even involve Union Hanger or a card that already existed, but rather a new card by the name of X-Cross Cannon. It's a retrained version of X-Head Cannon. There is this for the X and then the Y and the Z, but the Y and the Z, they're not really starters, but rather extenders. Or rather, should I say combo pieces, not even extenders. So X-Cross Cannon, it doesn't even have like a trigger effect on the summon, but rather an ignition effect. And also in the hand, if you control a Light Machine Fusion or Union monster, you can summon it from the hand, but it is not a Union monster. So it is one of the very few monsters that is actually not searchable in its own deck, which is very interesting. Anyways, on the field during your main phase, you can equip one appropriate Light Machine Union monster from your deck directly to this card as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. But unfortunately, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck that are not Light Attribute. So in other words, if you want to beat Nibiru, you're gonna have to be crafty about it, and you can't really afford to rely on like Appaloosa and stuff like that. But even without, you know, Light monsters, you can still make some fantastic extra deck monsters. And you can't make IP into SP and all that bullshit, but that's completely fine because, again, we're trying to be creative and we're trying to make the best out of what we can, out of what we have, really. Alright, cool. So the effect will trigger, and then we're going to be equipping Buster Drake and then special summon it because it is not off of unauthorized reactivation or Union Hanger, so you can summon it right away. And then go for Platinum Gadget. Buster Drake is going to be triggering in order to special search the Y Dragon Year Ahead. And the Platinum Gadget will special summon from the hand, and when the Y Dragon Year Ahead is a special summon, you can equip one level 4 Light Machine monster from your hand or graveyard to discard. And again, for the rest of the turn, you can now special summon monsters from the extra deck except Light monsters. And then it has the typical Union effect, because unlike the X something cannon, this is a Union monster. So we're going to be equipping Buster Drake with the Y. And again, none of the Union monsters are once per turn, so you're just going to be able to use its effect special summon and then go for Union Controller, which actually gets to search any spell or trap card that mentions Union monster in its text from your deck to your hand on summon, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to be searching Union Hanger, and then we're going to be activating it in order to search the Assault Core, which is a card that you already know about, and then special summon it using the second effect of Union Controller. And then that is going to be triggering the effect of Hanger, so equip the Union Driver from the deck. And then banish the Union Driver, equip this new card right here, Zillion Tank. Very reminiscent, or rather, it has almost the exact same effect as Y Dragon Year Ahead. So we're going to be using the other effect in order to special summon it from the Spell and Trap Zone. And then when it is special summon, you get to place any of your banished level 4 Light Machine, well, equip it, really, which is kind of nice, actually. And we're going to be getting the Y Dragon Year Ahead, which again is not once per turn. Anyways, we're going to be linking off a Buster Drake and Assault Core for Nightmare Phoenix, the new one at least, or Goblin or Cerberus, because Moon of the Close Sky into the new Requiem, I believe. Fiendsmith Requiem is pretty much the Orcus combo, but even better, actually, because you don't play bricks, you only play good cards. And we're going to be triggering Assault Core in order to recycle back the Buster Drake from the graveyard to the hand, and Buster Drake Surge the Crush Wyvern. And like I said, link off the Phoenix into Nightmare Mermaid, so Fiendsmith Requiem. And this card is a Lone Fire Blossom, so tribute it and then summon the Fiendsmith from the deck. This is not a brick. This is a really good card to draw. If you hard draw this card, your combo is even better, because now you get to beat Nibiru since you get to make a Caesar in 5 summons. I've made a shorts on this yesterday, so if you are still not familiar with it, make sure you check it out. But again, more videos with the Fiendsmith engine coming up very soon, because I know that not everybody wants to like look up ahead on these new cards and combos, etc. So I got you. Don't worry. I'm gonna do the homework for you. Anyway, special summon the Fiendsmith from the deck, and by the way, Union Controller is also a level 6, And even though we're locked under light monsters only, we can still make Beatrice, which is a little stupid, a little cracked. Yeah, we're going to be using the effect of Beatrice in order to foolish the anti-spell fragrance or any floodgate, right? Any unfair card from the deck to the graveyard, because even though we can only summon light monsters from the extra deck, there is a light monster that is very good at getting back spells and traps from the graveyard to the field that we can easily summon in a link-based strategy like ABC. Anyways, White Dragon had a special summon and then get back the, or rather get the Crush Wyvern from the hand in the spell at Trap Zone, and then special summon that. This is a little unfair, and then overlay for Evilstorm Exciton Knight, which is a card that you probably play in your deck anyways, but the main reason why we're going to be summoning it is because it's a light fiend, so we get to now make Fiendsmith Sequentia, which only requires 2 monsters, but including at least 1 light fiend monster. So Evilstorm Exciton Knight was somewhat of a necessary step. And we're going to be using the effect of Crush Wyvern, special summon the Buster Drake from the hand, and then the Fiendsmith is going to be reviving itself back from the graveyard by shuffling back 1 of your light fiend monsters from your graveyard either into the main deck or extra deck. And then we're going to be using the... no, never mind. We're going to be linking off into Baby Goddess again, which is, again, Nightmare Phoenix, Cerberus, or whatever. Its effect doesn't matter. Even though it's a cute effect, if you want to make Underworld Goddess with 1 less material from your end, you can do that. But anyways, Buster Drake is going to be searching again, and then we're going to be using the effect of Fiendsmith Sequentia, which allows you to it's kind of like a miracle fusion in a way. So you can fuse for 1 Fiend Fusion monster from extra deck by shuffling the materials from your graveyard into the deck. So we're going to be going Evilstorm Exciton Knight and I believe the Link 1 in order to summon the Fiendsmith Lacrimosa. And then on Fusion Summon, you get to target 1 Light Fiend monster in your graveyard banished, not banishment. Yeah, there we go. And either add it to your hand or special summon it, so we can revive back the Fiendsmith. And Lacrimosa also happens to be a level 6 monster, so you could actually make another Beatrice if you really wanted to, but that is slightly illegal, because I believe the card is limited. But you could make something like a Constellar Ptolemy M7, so that if you want your Beatrice to, like, I don't know, send like an Ash from the deck to the graveyard, then Ptolemy recycle back the Ash. That's really good against Despia. That's not too bad. Or you could also send like Artifact Lancia and then recycle it back. So that's FTK against like Flunderies. Also, if they have like Prosperity evenly and stuff like that, you literally just shut down everything in one shot. Very good against board breakers in general. But yeah, we can easily link off for a Nightmare Griffin now. And then the Griffin can discard the Assault Core that we recycled back, or rather search with the Buster Drake. And we're going to be getting back the anti-spell from the graveyard. And the effect of Lacrimosa will trigger and shuffle back the Moon of the Closed Sky into the extra deck and burn our opponent for 1200, and time will be called. So even in Game 3, this combo is still very dangerous. And like I said, we're going to be getting back the anti-spell, and then we have all of the letters of the alphabet. We have A, B, C, and we have X, Y, Z, which is insanity. Like, this is ridiculous. 1 card combo, right, is Beatrice with 1 more material, ABC Dragon Buster, Nightmare Griffin, and all of your monsters are linked, so you're not really hurt by your own Nightmare Griffin. Your opponent could, yeah, I mean, there's really just no out to this, because you also have anti-spell. Like, come on, how do you beat this? That ass, like, okay, evenly matched, but again, there's also, like, the counter to evenly matched if you, I guess, if you want to play it, which is, a little unfair. Yeah, it's really stupid. So, yeah, this card can destroy a card your opponent controls by discarding a card. This card can banish a card. And then this can foolish literally anything you want to. A lot of, like, possibilities. I don't even know. And then Nightmare Griffin is pretty much a skill drain for any special summon monster that isn't linked. But again, all of your monsters are linked because Beatrice is linked by Sequentia. And then ABC Dragon Buster and XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon are both linked thanks to Nightmare Griffin. But again, your opponent is not going to be getting too much. If anything, Relinquished Anima, but then we can just destroy it. And then after that, there's pretty much nothing for your opponent. So against, like, the Fire decks, your 1-card combo is Exodia. You literally cannot lose. And even if your opponent has, like, Forbidden Droplet to change the anti-spell, he's gonna have to, like, send 4 cards in order to have a shot. So that, you know, because there's, like, 4 freaking dangerous cards here. And then we still have the anti-spell, and if our opponent had, like, a Bonfire instead of Snake Eye Ash, then he 100% loses the game. Okay, so combo number 2. Remember, guys, when Union Hanger used to only be, like, Platinum Gadget, summon Letter, and then banish 3, summon ABC Dragon Buster, and call it a turn? Because, yes, that was the meta with Union Hanger for the longest time. But things are about to change thanks to Konami and their beautiful new support. So again, huge shoutouts to you guys for honestly just breaking this deck completely. This is absolute insanity. I can't believe this is happening. But anyways, the very beginning of the combo is the exact same. but this is where it's going to be changing. So for the first time in history, Assault Core will actually trigger its effect, because before that, before the new support, all you could really do is Buster Drake, search Crush Wyvern, and then Platinum Gadget effect summon Crush, and then banish 3, summon ABC Dragon Buster, and then pass turn. But like I said, because of the new support, we can do so much more than that, because Buster Drake, it doesn't only search A, B, and C anymore, it also searches Y and Z again. Only Y and Z, it doesn't search X, because X is not a unit monster, and Buster Drake and Assault Core, they only search and recycle unit monsters from your deck or graveyard to the hand. So we can still get our access to Y Dragon Yearhead, which is very nice because we summon it with Platinum Gadget, and then we get back the Assault Core, then special summon it, so that's pretty much a double extender. And Union Controller can now be summoned because we have access to Y or Z. Because to summon Union Controller, you need a Light Machine monster, so Platinum Gadget is the perfect monster to banish because it's free real estate. It can be used as a link material anyways, so you might as well banish it for Union Controller, and then the other material has to be either Y or Z. I did forget to mention that, but yeah. Anyways, again, on the summon, you get to search your deck for any spell or trap card that mentions a unit monster. We already have Unit Hanger, so this time we're going to be grabbing unauthorized reactivation. This card, by the way, is your best friend at beating Nibiru, because in case, or rather hand traps in general, literally anything, your opponent goes Veiler on Union Controller, you just go chain unauthorized reactivation, place Assault Core to it, and then your monster is unaffected by monster effects. Or if you want to beat Imperm, then you place Crush Wyvern. Or if you get hit by Dark Ruler, you chain unauthorized reactivation on your opponent's turn and you place Buster Drake. So you have ways to beat pretty much everything. It's really nice. And again, even Nibiru. So yeah, this deck is very immune to everything, at least with 2-card combos, because obviously the 1-card combo, it's very linear. It obviously always loses to 1 hand trap, but then with 1 extender, then you can start playing through hand traps, etc. Anyways, unauthorized reactivation does not have to necessarily be used right now. We're going to be summoning the Buster Drake with the Union Controller, and then link off for the Moon of the Closed Sky, search for the Z, and then recycle back the B, go for the Fiendsmith Requiem, and then summon the Fiendsmith from the deck, and then unauthorized reactivation plays the Crush Wyvern, and then we're going to be overlaying for Beatrice, which triggers Crush Wyvern, special summon the Z Zillion Tank, and then plays back the Y from the Banished, and then Y special, and then place the Crush Wyvern, and then special summon that, and then overlay for Excite All Night, and then link off for Sequentia, and then Crush Wyvern, summon the Buster Drake, and then Beatrice has to send the X Cross Cannon, so even if we didn't physically hard right, we can still summon the X, Y, and Z, which, by the way, beats Nibiru. Anyways, now we're going to be going Sequentia Effect Fuse into the Lacrimosa, and then Lacrimosa revive back the Fiendsmith, and then we can make a Moon of the Closed Sky, Buster Drake Search, and then summon back the Fiendsmith, and then we can make the Griffin, discard the Assault Core that we searched with the Buster Drake, so it's a free discard. So it doesn't even require any more discards from our hand, so that's really nice. And we're going to be getting Anti-Spell, or sorry, not Anti-Spell in this situation, because we had to Foolish for the X. But if you don't really care about going to XYZ, then you can just Foolish for Anti-Spell, and then I guess keep the Beatrice for like next turn to like send the last letter, and then still go for XYZ. So we can still go for unauthorized reactivation, which beats Dark Ruler anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. And we can go for X, Y, and Z. So it's pretty much the exact same board. The only difference is that instead of Anti-Spell, we have unauthorized reactivation, and quite literally everything is the same. So yeah, that's just with one single Union Hanger, which is honestly just beautiful to look at. I love this deck. Everybody loves ABC, right? It's the chat deck. But anyways, let's get into the beautiful deck profile now. Okay, so for the deck list, first of all, I am kind of convinced that this is as clean as it gets. This is a very good deck list. Probably one of the best deck lists that you will find on YouTube, if not the best, at least the current moment, because I really try to maximize the amount of non-engine while really trying to have as many good consistency cards as possible, and really try to decrease the amount of bricks, because you know, that's the thing with ABC. You don't want to play too many bad cards or cards that do nothing, and you really want to be able to justify all of your ratios. So for the hand traps, I'm on 15, as well as 1 Call by the Grave, because obviously I'm going to hand trap my opponent to death, but I don't want to get a hand trap to myself, or at least suffer the consequences of that too much. So yeah, Call by the Grave and Talons, they're really like flexible cards. They could be 2 additional hand traps or 2 other cards. They could be, you know, the Theron Disc Coliseum with the Regulus. But if you do that, you might as well commit to it and then play more Regulus or more Coliseum with set rotation. And that's where it gets a little chaotic, because then you start playing a lot of cards that aren't necessarily good in your deck. Regulus is a good card technically, but if you summon the Regulus, it means that you're already playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you already have a machine in the grave. That's the thing with ABC, right? Like, you usually have issues getting started. So I don't really think Regulus fixes any of the problems for this deck, unfortunately. Anyways, for the actual monsters, so 2 Assault Core, 2 Buster Drake, 2 Crush Wyvern, the only reason, really, why all these cards have to be at 2 is because unauthorized reactivation, you always want it to be live for the second letter, and you don't want to lose to Bestials or DD Crew and stuff like that, because otherwise, if you only play one of, like, 1 or 2 letters, then all your opponent has to do is, like, target that specific letter, because everybody knows that Buster Drake is the superior one out of the 3, so they're never going to be DD Crowing that one, but rather Assault Core and Crush Wyvern, so you don't really want your opponent to get you on, like, a small little detail. And there is really no reason to play 3 Buster Drake anymore because X-Cross Cannon is the superior monster. And there's really no conflicting of drawing too many like normal summons because, again, this card is an extender from the hand. If you control a Light Machine Fusion or Union monster, you summon it from the hand for free, and it has a great effect on the field. Everything you could ask for, and it's the X monster that you needed in order to go for X, Y, and Z because Y and Z are super easy to access. Now, Union Driver obviously is the brick, so that is the one of that you absolutely do not want to draw whatsoever. If you do draw it, then your combo will be worse, but it can still get to ABC, so that's still manageable. And then obviously the 1Y and the 1Z, because these 2 cards are just combo pieces, but they're also not great to draw. If you draw them, it doesn't matter. Like, you still have the combo, obviously. It's just that it's one less real card in the hand, so with your Buster Drake, for example, you're gonna have to search like another letter that doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I want to say this is probably the bare minimum, but at the same time, absolute maximum amount of letters that you can play, so I really tried to max it out and make it as logical as possible, so it's really 12 monsters, a 3 Union Hanger with the Terraforming, 3 Unauthorized Reactivation, because this is your best friend at beating hand traps, as I've already mentioned, and also it is the closest thing there is to drawing Union Hanger when you don't have Hanger, because if you have Reactivation with quite literally any of these monsters, it's still combo. It's your extender because it gets you to Union Driver and then you summon you get the Buster Drake and then you special, and then you go for Platinum Gadget and you pop off from there. So it's completely fine if you just draw this and a letter, it's still combo. But again, I will be showing that in my spreadsheet video as soon as this video gets 1,000 likes, so you already know what to do. And finally, for the final engine, or rather the only other engine in this deck, I did not want to play the Brave Token engine because obviously it makes sense, right? When you have a normal summon that has an effect in the form of X-Cross Cannon, you cannot play the Brave Token, and also it adds like 4 bricks to your deck. Ew, I don't want to do that. But yeah, 3 Fiendsmith as well as 1 Sanctus, which is pretty much Hornet Drones. So Fiendsmith is a 1-card Wave Caesar on its own, or you can go for Beatrice. And Beatrice can also be the full ABC starter on its own, because you could send Rainbow Bridge of Salvation and then search Union Hanger and a Crystal Beast monster, but then it adds 2 bricks to your deck, so do you really want to do that? If you do that, then you have to play Barricade Board Blocker in your extra deck, because just in case you draw Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, you still want to be able to discard it. And also, Barricade Board Blocker is a machine, so you can easily link it off into Platinum Gadget and then summon the monster that you search off of Union Hanger. So it is a possibility. You could go for a Crystal Beast package. It's not too bad, but are you really okay with the brick Crystal Beast monster? I don't know about that. Again, just to clarify myself, I really wanted this deck to be as consistent as humanly possible and also as resilient as possible by beating hand traps such as Nibiru, and Wave Hiking Caesar is, again, extremely good at doing so. If you draw the Fiendsmith, you always beat Nibiru, or if you draw Unauthorized Reactivation, you beat Nibiru, and you play 15 freaking hand traps, so going second, you're fine. This deck has everything you could ask for it to be like a real serious meta contender. So it's not just a troll deck. I'm not like hyping something for no reason. I genuinely believe in this. I mean, I just showcased 2 combos that were like absolutely insane with only 1 single card, and you know, you're maxing both of them at 3, and you're not really playing like bad cards that are just like complete trash to draw other than Union Driver. But to be fair, every single deck in Yu-Gi-Oh has that 1 Garnet that you just cannot control. So it's fine. If I only play 1 Garnet and then every other card in my deck is fine to draw, I'm not complaining. Anyways, for the extra deck, 2 XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. You can absolutely not get away with only 1 copy, because the Graveyard effect, if you want to be able to summon X, Y, and Z from the Graveyard Banished, you have to be able to summon, like, reveal itself from your extra deck. You know, like, if you have 1 in the grave, then you also need 1 more in your extra deck, so 2 is the minimum amount. And then 3 BC Dragon Buster, just so you have, like, an infinite grind game, so it really makes sense. 1 Fiendsmith Lacrimosa for the combo, and then Union Controller, level 6 monster, absolutely does everything you could ask for. This card's unfair. And then Caesar, Beatrice, a lot of level 6's monster, huh? So yeah, I mean, you got like the Fiendsmith and Union Controller to always go into either Beatrice or Caesar, so Caesar would be by using double Fiendsmith. And then Evil Storm Exciton Knight off of your ABC, it's a light fiend monster, and it's a good card going second, so how you can break boards easily. It's also not too bad if you get shifted, by the way. If you get shifted on standby, you could also go for a Baguska, so that's always the kind of card that has to be at least in your extra deck. So keep that in mind. Anyways, for the Link monsters, Griffin, obviously I showcase combos with this. Platinum Gadget, Moon of the Closed Sky. You could also play Underworld Goddess to your extra deck. But the extra deck is so ridiculously tight, I don't really know what to cut. And then finally, Fiendsmith, Sequentia, and Requiem. So yeah, 15 cards in the extra deck, obviously with 40 cards. Main deck, as clean as possible. And for the idea section, I guess, not even a side deck. Regulus, Zeus, Baguska, Tsukuyomi. This card's really nice. I tried a lot of combos with it, and they were good. It's just that the extra deck space is tight, really. That's the only issue. Anyways, Underworld Goddess, SP, IP, these two cards, you honestly don't need them. They're really just not needed whatsoever. And also, you can never summon them because they're not light monsters. So yeah, the only monster that I guess I won't always have access to would be Caesar, because it's water. That doesn't matter because if I can't summon Caesar, it's off of 2 Fiendsmith because I hard drew the Fiendsmith, so it's a 1-card Caesar, and then I have ABC combo and through Nibiru. Anyways, Prosperity, this card sucks because your extra deck is super crucial. You don't want to start banishing your ABCs or XYZs or your Link monsters because then you start doing nothing. So do not fall under the trap of playing Prosperity. It is not a good card. Union activation is dog shit because it makes you play the bad Union monsters. And also, the Graveyard effect is garbage. It's really bad. Forbidden Droplet, this card's really good, but I don't necessarily recommend main decking it when you're already playing like 15 hand traps, so maybe in the side deck it's a little better. And then yeah, set rotation with the Theron Field Spell, not too bad, but I don't know. I think you're better off with the Fiendsmith engine. And then yeah, obviously Anti-Spell or any Field Spell, Floodgate of your choosing. And if you want like more ways of really like turning Beatrice into like a nasty card, Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, Crystal Beast monsters, etc. Or anything else that you could think of that would really be insane with Beatrice, like Transaction Rollback, Mayakashi, Ghost Meets Girl, Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. The list goes on, honestly, so many degenerate cards. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will be back very, very soon with an updated ABC combo video deck profile. Rather, a spreadsheet video if you guys can get this video to 1,000 likes, so I know we can make it. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.